Hi there, my name is Richard McMunn from the interview training company passmyinterview.com, and in this tutorial I'm going to teach you how to pass a probation officer interview. So if you are applying to become a probation officer, you will need to undertake an interview. Within this tutorial I will teach you how to be the standout candidate. Now, to achieve that goal, this is what I will cover. I will give you a list of probation officer interview questions that you really need to prepare for. I will also give you suggested answers to those probation officer interview questions to help you succeed. I will tell you the qualities that you have to demonstrate in order to be successful. And then I will also tell you about further training resources you can get access to help you pass your probation officer interview. So, 4 strong reasons why you should stay tuned and watch this tutorial fully from beginning to end. Now, just very quickly, before I get into the questions and answers, a very warm welcome to this probation officer interview training tutorial. My name is Richard McMunn. That is me there in the center of the screen. I am a former fire officer of 17 years, and since then I've been helping people like you to successfully pass their interviews, and I always do that by giving you top scoring answers you can't find anywhere else. On that basis, please do make sure you subscribe to the channel by clicking the red button below the video. Then you won't miss out on any of the weekly training videos I upload. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn. My LinkedIn link is in the description below the video, and it is always great to connect with like-minded professionals such as yourself. Please also make sure you give the video a like. Please hit the like button because that tells me you enjoy the content, and I will therefore spend more time creating it for you. Thank you very much. Okay, let's get into those probation officer interview questions and the top scoring answers. So the first question is, why do you want to become a probation officer? Now, it is very important that you explain in your answer how your skills, your qualities and your experience are a match for the role of a probation officer. Here is a brilliant answer to help you prepare. Prior to applying to become a probation officer, I studied the role in detail to make sure it was a job I would enjoy and also one which I already had the necessary skills, the qualities and the attributes to succeed in. I am naturally someone who works to high standards. I have critical analysis capabilities and my communication skills, both written and verbal, are strong. Now, over the years, I've built up lots of experience dealing with difficult and challenging situations where there is a need for a calm and focused decision-making process. Although I have no doubt there comes a huge amount of responsibility with the role of a probation officer, I am confident I have the necessary competence levels, the desire to continually improve, and also the ability to follow rules, procedures, and protocol. So that is a very strong answer to that first interview question, why do you want to become a probation officer? Now, you can either pause the video if you want to and take a note of the questions and answers as I go through them. However, if you want to wait, I will tell you where you can download my full set of 23 probation officer interview questions and top scoring answers, including the ones we are working through right now. So the next probation officer interview question that I want you to prepare for is, what do you expect to be doing on a daily basis as a probation officer? Now, this interview question is solely designed to assess whether or not you have studied the job description. So here's a great in-depth answer to assist you. Probation officers manage offenders to help protect the public and also reduce reoffending. I will have many responsibilities, including managing high-risk offenders, creating and compiling pre-sentencing reports for courts, working with other agencies that make up the criminal justice system so that suitable risk assessments can be conducted, and also assisting and motivating offenders to change their pattern of behaviour. Other duties include assessing offenders in prison to prepare them for release from custody, helping offenders serve community orders, and also assist in the managing of premises that provide accommodation for people who are on bail or offenders that are on parole. I will also work with offenders to help them reintegrate into the community and work with victims of certain crimes to make sure their voices are heard. Now, sometimes I will be required to attend court to provide written recommendations and testify if needed. There will, of course, be many other duties that go to make up the role of a probation officer. However, those are the ones that I will be mainly responsible for. Now, that answer needs to be in depth because there's lots of different responsibilities as a probation officer. So you need to give the interviewer a wide array of different things that you will have responsibility for. So that's a great answer. Next question. In your opinion, what are the most important skills and qualities needed to be a probation officer? Now, to become a competent probation officer, you need a different set of skills and qualities to the majority of jobs that are out there. This is a challenging role, but it is also highly rewarding. Now, in your answer to this question, focus on the top 8 skills needed, because this will make your answer much easier to remember. Here's my suggested response. Having studied the role in detail prior to applying, there are 8 essential skills and qualities you must have to reach a suitable level of competence as a probation officer. Now, one of the most important skills is that of communication. This is in reference to how you communicate with others, your body language, your written report writing skills, and also how you build long-term professional relationships with other stakeholders that form part of the criminal justice system. You also need sound critical thinking skills, as you are required to analyse information, facts and evidence before making effective decisions and also writing reports. You need to remain calm at all times, otherwise you will not be able to make effective decisions. And you also need a level of emotional stability too. Other important skills include organisational and planning capabilities and an ability to meet strict deadlines. So that is a very good answer. And I like the way that you are focusing on a set number of skills and qualities because, as I say, that will make it easier for you to remember. Now, don't go anywhere because I still have more questions to work through with you. But when you're ready, if you want to click that link in the top right-hand corner of the video, it takes you through to my website, passmyinterview.com, where you can download my full set of 23 probation officer interview questions and top scoring answers, including the ones that we are working through together right here on this video. Let's move on to the next question. Please don't forget to give the video a like. Thank you very much. Here we go. Tell me a time when you had to work at a pace and how you approached it. So this is a competency-based probation officer interview question, and it is important you structure your answer in the format of situation, task, action, and result. This is called the STAR technique. Let me show you how effective the STAR technique is for answering competency-based interview questions in the following response. In a previous job, I often had to meet strict deadlines, and I built up an effective system for doing so. One particular time comes to mind when a colleague of mine was off sick and I agreed to take on their work during a busy 7-day period. In addition to having to prepare my own written report for my manager, I also had to finish off one they had started too. I started off assessing how much time I had available to complete both reports. I then assessed the other responsibilities I had for that week and formulated a plan for getting everything finished on time. I then applied myself in an organised and disciplined manner and made sure there were no distractions. By following a set process for completing my work thoroughly, I was able to get both reports finished and submitted to my manager on time and to the necessary standards. You can see there that by using situation, task, action and result, I'm able to provide an evidence-based answer that follows a set process for working at pace. The next question is another tough probation officer interview question. Give me an example of a challenging situation you had to deal with at work. Now, probation officers have to deal with challenging situations on a daily basis. Again, my advice is to use a STAR technique to structure your own answer and show how you remained calm and gathered all information available to you at the time. This is important. Here's my suggested response that utilises the STAR technique. Recently at work, I had to deal with a customer who was understandably dissatisfied with the service they had received from our company. A colleague of mine, who had since left, had failed to provide a satisfactory level of service and the customer wanted to make a complaint. It was my responsibility to listen to their complaint, resolve it satisfactorily, and then try to prevent it from happening again in the future. I started out by listening to the customer. They were clearly upset and angry. I used effective communication and listening techniques to show empathy and understanding for their situation. Now, when the time was right during the conversation, I apologised unreservedly. I made no excuses before starting to offer a resolution to their complaint that they were happy with. Now, throughout my dealings with them, I remained calm, I listened, and I gathered facts and information which enabled me to make a sound decision in the best interests of the customer and the organisation. Once I had resolved the complaint and put things right, I made an assessment of the circumstances that led to the complaint in the first place. And I created a short written report for my manager detailing what steps could be taken to prevent the same situation from happening again. Once again, you can see how effective the STAR technique is for creating strong, evidence-based answers to situational type probation officer interview questions. So what's the next thing for you to do? Please now click that link in the top right-hand corner of the video. It will take you through to my website, passmyinterview.com. You can download my full set of 23 probation officer interview questions and top scoring answers, including the ones I've worked through with you today right here on the presentation. It's a really strong guide that will help you prepare fully for your probation officer interview. I hope you've enjoyed that. Please don't forget to subscribe, connect with me on LinkedIn, and also give the video a like. I would appreciate your support. Thank you very much. All that's left for me to say is I wish you all the best for passing your probation officer interview and have a brilliant day. Thank you very much.